Oftentimes, immigration reform has been put to the bottom of the president's to-do list in the past. But within recent years, it has gained a lot of momentum because of all the problems we are facing in the border states. For me, it has been constantly influencing my life because I live in San Diego, California, and my life has been very heavily influenced by the Mexican culture because of all this immigration, both illegal and legal. I took all my classes, half in English, half in Spanish, and also a lot of my friends were either illegal immigrants themselves or they have parents that were illegal. Because I was so influenced by the Mexican culture, I became very passionate about immigration reform. I saw people who it directly affected. Living in a border city, it was plain to see all the flaws in the system. It was not uncommon to see Border Patrol chasing people down or performing raids, and it also wasn't uncommon to see protests and rallies having to do with immigration reform. It becomes very clear that our current legislation is not nearly adequate for the large amounts of immigrants already residing in the United States, and also that deportation and Border Patrol rules we have are too harsh and borderline inhumane. Many think that the solution to illegal immigration will be found in choosing one venue such as deportation, border security, or legislation and focusing solely on that, but what our country really needs is to choose all three and also provide aid to Mexico at the same time. To start, the U.S. needs to create functioning pathways to give amnesty to those who truly deserve it. The legislation that needs to be created needs to treat immigrants with humanity rather than treating them as pests. This would put us on the moral high ground while also showing that the United States is still a place for people to go in the pursuit of a better life. Our country was founded on the principles that everyone has the right to pursue life, liberty, and property, and so the U.S. government does not have the right to deny illegal immigrants trying to pursue citizenship those things. In 1986, the United States created the IRCA under the Reagan administration, also known as the Immigration Reform and Control Act, which granted amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants residing in the United States. This was the United States' first attempt of solving the dilemma of illegal immigrants residing here. However, it ultimately was a failure because it only caused more illegal immigrants to come. Because of this, many will argue that granting amnesty is a waste of time and resources. However, with new legislation such as the DREAM Act, we see that it's doing the opposite of the first bill. It's granting citizenship to the right people and not dramatically increasing the amount of illegal immigrants coming to the U.S. The DREAM Act, which was created in 2012 under the Obama administration, is a piece of legislation that says that one can get temporary citizenship in the United States as long as they're pursuing a college career or they're pursuing a job in the military. This is one of the best pieces of legislation that our country has come up with because it is providing amnesty to those who really deserve it. Through the DREAM Act, we see that the right people are entering our society and becoming citizens. Each one is driven and working hard to become a functioning part of the U.S. The DREAM Act, applied on a larger scale with different qualifications, can really be the perfect way for us to start letting citizens into the economy and into our society. When the U.S. creates legislation that makes amnesty contingent upon being a functioning citizen in our society, a taxpayer who works legally for all of their money will make it so it reinvigorates our economy and eases the burden of immigrants on things like healthcare and social services. After we have created legitimate ways for people to gain citizenship and become a part of our society, then and only then will we use deportation to take home the people who really don't deserve to be here, those who have criminal records and repeatedly break the law. Border Patrol is ineffective at this point because what it's causing people to do is be more desperate and resort to more dangerous methods to cross the border. As shown in the next few images, we see that people are doing drastic things like hiding in cars and trying to jump the fence, and it's making them put themselves and others in danger. The United States should never condone anything that forces people to resort to these measures. This problem can only be solved when we fix the reason that Mexicans are needing to leave their country. The United States has illegal immigrants and illegal drugs pouring over the border, and it needs to be stopped. There are 4 main drug cartels that are in control of the Mexican state, and these cartels are violent and controlling of the government. They use guerrilla tactics and bulldoze anyone who gets in their way. In a 3-year period from 2006 to 2009, there were over 10,000 murders of Mexican citizens and government officials by cartels. They use car bombs, set fires, and behead people to send messages. By helping the Mexican government derail the drug cartels who usually smuggle illegal immigrants over the border as a side business, it would kill two birds with one stone. It would be much more beneficial for the United States to focus its international efforts somewhere closer to home rather than to continue to get involved in things that don't immediately affect us. If the Mexican government was stable and their standard of living was raised, we would see a large decrease in the amount of immigrants wanting to come to the United States. So get out and vote. We just had our midterm elections. So, in the next presidential election, look and see what the candidate has to say about immigration reform. We really have the opportunity to change the way things are at the border. You can make the difference. You can make sure that each individual that comes into the United States is treated with dignity and respect, and that the United States is still a place that has equality for all.